Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you haven't been here before. I can't believe that I'm finally sitting down to film this after years of having this monologue in my head of what I would say during this video. I can finally announce to you that I am launching my own brand called SINGE Beauty. I am getting emotional just talking about it. It's literally been, I know people always say this, it's been 84 years. It's been such a long time. This takes so much longer than you think it's gonna take. I have been always having in the back of my head thinking that I would want to do something for myself. But I've always said, and even when you've asked me like, would you launch your own brand? I've always said like, I don't really know what I would like contribute. Like, what would I bring to this space? And the more I thought about this, the more an idea like crystallized in my head. One of the questions I get asked the most on my channel, and where I feel like I could actually bring a product that I feel is something that I have been missing. So I'm launching my very first brand with my very first brush set. This has been I can't believe, like, I'm looking at these little brushes here and I'm like, how did you take me this long? How did you take me this long? I get the most questions on my channel overall about brushes. What do you recommend? What are the best ones? Which shapes should you use for what? And the more I thought about it, the more I was realizing that there actually isn't a brush brand out there that I feel has everything for me, that has those brush sets where I actually use all the brushes and where I don't look at brushes and be like, if only you could be a little bit more like this, more like that. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself. I am gonna come out with what I think are the absolute perfect brushes. And this is, and I'm gonna show you the brushes, but this is what they look like. This is my brush set. Very excited about this, obviously. But first, I'm just gonna go quickly through some questions that I think people are gonna have before I just show you a close-up of the brushes and how they look and explain why these brushes are the way they are and why I decided to create these specific brushes. First of all, this is not a limited edition drop here and then gone thing. I am launching my own brand and this is the first product I'm launching. I am definitely having plans for the future. This is just something that I was like, I know exactly what I want, so I'm coming out with a brush set with 5 eye brushes that I think are perfect for creating the most perfect like eye look. But this is not a limited edition drop. If I for some reason sell out, which honestly I have quite a few brushes. I have quite a few brushes, but if I for some reason sell out, I will restock. But just know that producing and shipping brushes to me takes time. So if I sell out, which honestly I don't think that that's gonna happen, but if I sell out, I will restock. This is not a limited edition drop. This is not me just launching something and then just disappearing. I have worked very hard on this brand. I have hired people to help me with my logo, with my photography, with my website. My website is open. I will leave it, of course, when I'm doing this as a premiere, and when the premiere is over, everything is gonna be in the description box. If you want to check my socials for Cinch, if you want to check the website, if you want to check, because the website is open, but you cannot purchase any brushes until it launches this Saturday, March the 25th at noon Central Standard Time. So that is going to be 8 o'clock Pacific time, and it is going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will also put here, because I don't know the time zones, but this is the time zone that is launching in Sweden, which is Central European time. I will ship internationally. Just know that this is, like I said, this is my first launch ever doing my own brand. And I was very familiar with the process of like developing something and, you know, samples and approving and like the marketing and like all, I knew that from doing collabs before. The part that I'm like a little unfamiliar with is of course the whole shipping process, because that I have never done before. I've never been the part that actually receives the orders and ships them out. So that's why I'm doing one set. In the future, I will do singles, don't worry, but right now I'm only doing one set because this is gonna be me and my husband packing these orders. We're gonna be the ones packing these orders and I don't wanna overwhelm us. But we will be shipping internationally to the places that Shopify recommends. Because again, I am trying to keep it as, I don't wanna call it bare bone, but I'm trying to not overwhelm myself with stuff that I might not be overly confident with. So I'm shipping internationally to the places that Shopify recommends, because I'm building, my website is at Shopify, and I'm also shipping at the rate that Shopify recommends. So I have not done anything about that. With time, I'm hoping to be able to adjust that and see like what cost I can eat and what cost I cannot eat, because at the end of the day, like you heard, I have some people that I need to pay as well that's helping me. But just know that I will ship internationally, I will ship within the US. You can already see some Q&A and some info at the website if you want to read more. But if you cannot see your country in the list, just let me know and I will look into it for the future. But I had to start somewhere. I had to start somewhere. Let's also say, because I know some people are going to ask me, and I'm just going to put that out there right now, are these private labeled? No, these are not private labeled. These are produced exclusively for Cinch. I have picked each and every aspect of these brushes. I have the blueprints on my computer. I have picked the bristles, I have picked the ferrules, I've picked the color, where the logo is going, the name of them. I've picked the length of the bristles and how they are cut, all of it. All of it is my decision. These brushes are my brushes that are made for Cinch Beauty, and I am very, very proud of them. They're also vegan and cruelty-free. I know, and you know, that I'm quite a big fan of natural bristle brushes, but I also know that we're coming into a time where synthetic brushes actually can emulate natural bristle brushes pretty good, and these bristles are specifically made out of synthetic fibers to emulate the way that a natural bristle will pick up and distribute product. So just know, if you're wondering, these are not natural bristle brushes, these are vegan. I also wanted to say, because you know I am a lover of indie makeup, I have been known to be called the indie queen. I've always been very big on supporting indie brands and talking about smaller brands, and this is an indie brand. I do not have an investor. I did not start this brand with someone. This is 100% a self-funded business, which also means that all the money had to come from my pocket. Starting a brand is not cheap. Just paying the legal fees for someone to help me with the logo, woo! So I will say, I bought as many brushes as I could afford, but eventually it's getting to be really hard to convince my husband to invest all of our life savings into orange brushes. So I did the best I could with the money I had, but if anyone's asking, this is a fully indie brand, fully self-funded. And I know that you're probably like me and you don't like really long shipping and handling times. I am gonna do my absolute best to be as quick as possible with the handling before I give it off to the post office. Because of course, as soon as a company gives your package to the post office, it is out of their control. They cannot do anything with it any longer. But just know that it is just me and my husband packing orders at this point, and we will do our absolute best to be as quick as possible, but try to have a little bit of patience with me just with this first launch, because I don't know 100% how long everything is gonna take. Trust me, we have already been folding quite a lot of boxes. We are very much prepared for this launch, but I also will say that like 50% of me is like, prepared for what? Like I don't really 100% know what I'm supposed to be prepared for. So have a little bit of patience with me. I will do my absolute best, and I will of course update you via social medias about what's going on and all of that. If you will be following Cinch on social media, you can also sign up for the newsletter, which is going to be on the Cinch Beauty website, and you can do that already now, and I will send you a mail once the brushes are available in case you want to be on the list. Listen, I am that person. I always sign up for newsletters to be in the know, and if you want to do that, that's already available on the site. Okay, so enough about that. This is the brush set, and they have the SINGE Beauty logo right here, which I love the logo. Cinch means to like lightly sear something, and you know I love an orange yellow. I love a orange that has so much yellow in it that you're like, is it a yellow? And then you put it next to a yellow and you're like, no, it's like a little bit of an orange. That's a color that I really love, and I knew I wanted my handles to be that color. I also love the black ferrule, and I love the dark brown bristles of these brushes. These are the brushes that I use to create the look that I have on right now. You have seen me use this. I've used these brushes behind the scenes for a really long time. This is actually the set that I use today. That is my hair, maybe not that one. I have been using this set of brushes for a really long time, washing them, using them, really like using and abusing them to make sure that they are exactly what I want them to be. This is a fresh set, just fresh out of the box, and this is what they look like when they come to you. I did name these E01, E02, E03, so forth, because I was hoping, like I said, to do more things in the future. Maybe I'll do more brushes, maybe I'll do other things. I'm open for suggestions. I'm gonna be talking about these brushes in the order that I use them in today's look, but they're not necessarily in the order that I like, because I'm gonna start with the E03, which is the big fluffy brush. This is the one that I used in my crease. I think all brush sets do need a big fluffy brush. I think it's always good for dispersing colors, blending colors, getting that seamless blend. What I was really wanting to get with this one is to get bristles that are not too short, not too long, and that are cut in the perfect way so that it fits in your socket. Especially when you're like me, I'm 39, listen, my eyes need a different shape when we're starting to get these little wrinkles and folds. So this one just fits perfectly in here, and you can blend and disperse, and it is super soft, but it's not too soft so that you cannot blend. The bristles are long and like really flowy, but not too long so you don't get any precision. It is just my favorite, my perfect big blending brush. The second brush I use is a brush that these are the kind of brushes that I love, and I really made an effort to create the perfect one. This is for me a crease brush because it is not too big. It is perfect if you have hooded eyes. It is perfect if you have mature eyes. It is perfect if you sometimes feel like you don't have enough real estate, because I have a lot of real estate, but maybe you don't. And sometimes these real like big fluffy brushes, when you put on too dark of a color of those, it just becomes too intense too quickly. So this one, the EL2, it is the perfect one. It is the same shape as the other one, but it's just smaller, and it is a little bit more firmer so that you can really get the color payoff that you deserve with your color. But still, since it is tapered and just ends with a little bit of a tip, it's just the perfect way for you to disperse color and still blend it out without making it go too overboard too quickly, but also not packing it on with a brush that you simply cannot blend with. This is the perfect one for that. The EO4 was the second brush that I actually created, even though it's called the EO4. This was the second brush that I created because I knew exactly what I wanted, and this is, and you know I love brushes like this, and I decided to do like my perfect one. This is a fluffy brush that on the side actually looks a little bit like this brush. Like a blender brush, but this one is more tapered. The bristles are more tapered than this one, but when you flip it to the side, you realize it's an oval. It's an oval, and it's like a little bit of a thicker, almost like a fluffy oval pencil brush. This one, if you have a little bit more aging eyes like me, if you're a little bit more mature, this is going to be your perfect inner crease brush, because this one goes in that fold perfectly, because I like to put color in here. I want it to be dense enough so that it actually packs on color, but also fluffy enough so that I can blend it out without being too big so that I get all the way up to my brow, because I don't want that. Sometimes looks can go overboard so quickly. This is the perfect brush to use here. I also use this under my eyes, and one of my favorite ways of using this, if you like more dramatic looks, this, even without any extra color, like no additional product on the brush or just using a pastel on it, to blend the edges, because you put it on the side, so you go along the edges and you just blend on the edges. It is the perfect edge blender. If anything looks harsh, if anything needs a little bit more blending, this is the one where you blend the edges without disrupting where you actually put the color, because we all know sometimes we have that perfect result, we try and go in and blend a little bit, and we blend the color away. This one helps with that. And after that, we have the teeny one. This is the outer corner action of a lifetime. This is even smaller, and it is not as tapered as the other one. It is a little bit more of a rounder tip, and this one is just perfect for packing on like the dark color and just dispersing and blending. And this is perfect for detailed blending work when you just want to add some black. Listen, sometimes I see people go in with this kind of a brush and black, and I'm like, you would have been better off with this one. A small brush where you can just pack and blend and be detailed without going overboard, and this is the E05. And then I'm gonna end with my absolute favorite brush. This is the first brush that I created with this brush set. There was absolutely not a single doubt in my mind that this needed to be here. This is gonna be your new favorite flat eyeshadow brush. It's amazing. The way that I have been using this behind the scenes and just trying to not show you the orange handle for going up to a year now. Love this one. This is very tapered. It goes into a point, so it's very detailed. It's also not super flat. It is a little more thicker so that you can put it on the side and use it as a pencil brush, which I do a lot. It is also tapered in all directions, both to the tip and also on the sides. This one picks up product like nobody's business. You know, some of those shadows are a little bit more structured, they're hard to pick up, the really emollient shadows, the super sparkly shadows, mattes. This one for a matte inner corner, it is absolute perfection because you really can get in there because of how pointy it is, and it just picks up color and packs and disperses color absolutely immaculate. This is my favorite brush in my collection, and I have been wanting a brush like this for such a long time. Some brands have been close, but not really. So I am so happy that this brush is here. This is my absolute favorite. This is the E01. It's called the E01 because it is number one. It is just my absolute favorite, and that is my brush set. Those are the brushes. Like I said, this is launching on Saturday the 25th. I am so excited and I'm so thrilled, and like I said, the website is open. You can go in and look at the website, look at all the beautiful pictures, and look at how the website looks. And if you have any questions, you can ask, because I'm sure that I've forgotten to talk about anything. You can put it in the comments down below, not in the live chat, because I'm having like I said, this is a premiere, and if you're watching the premiere, put in the comments down below, and I'll do a get ready with me kind of a chit chat Q&A with any additional like questions that you have about these products. Again, thank you so much for being here. And also, I always say this is not true just with like my collabs, but also with my own brand. You don't have to purchase if you don't want any brushes, if you don't have the money, if you just like, this isn't for me. Don't ever feel like you need to purchase or spend your money to be supporting me. Just you being here, watching my videos, being subscribed, liking, commenting, that is enough. You don't have to spend your money to be supporting me. But if you do want to try this, and if you do want to try it out, I really hope that you will love this brush set as much as I do. Because these truly are my favorite brushes, my perfect brushes. Like, I worked really hard on these, and I feel very confident in this product. But don't feel like you need to. And again, like I said, these are not limited edition. If they sell out, they will restock. It might take a little time though, just so that we're all aware on that. But this was an amazing video to film, a video that I truly never thought that I would be able to sit down and film. And thank you again for being so kind to me. Thank you for being so supportive and sweet towards me, and I hope to see you on my SINGE Beauty social medias, and I hope you're having an amazing day. I know I am, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!